Volkswagen, always nice. Roll down the windows, fit the key. All right, I'll kind of start on the outside. The 13th will mark 5 years that I've had this wagon, and I bought it originally. It was bagged, but had all stock suspension, so when it was aired out, it was got front positive camber. I've completely gone through all the suspension, basically replaced all the bags. It's got my own custom camber plates in it. I originally got Cartier lower valance for free when I was living out in California. The back edges were ground off from where a car had been towed, and it's full of Bondo. And then I got the Votex bumper for $20 and decided to try to mold them together, and was able to cut it and get it to work. And that's kind of what stemmed me searching out the rest of the Cartier kit, trying to go with like a period correct body kit. So far, I am only waiting on the rear hatch blend, which goes here. It basically takes the bumper line and then also has the bump for the rub strip. That's the only part I have left. Carshowplate.com did the license plate for me whenever I did it. It's a Euro hatch. I've even got Cartier exhaust tips. Can you see that? But it's a dual 4 tip. It's tips that are made to go on either side of a bumper, like on a Volkswagen R32, but I put them both on the left side, being a diesel. Thought it might be kind of cool. Kind of show you the other Cartier part that I have. Had some brand new floor mats that I was able to source. So the shave bay I did in California around 3 years ago. I did all the body work myself. It's actually currently still rattle can paint, but most people never really realize that it is. These are a couple products that I design, and if you guys are interested, I'll sell a few of them. But I did the whole shave bay with no welding, so these little 3D printed pieces just slide down into your tray, and you can paint them. You can leave them raw black plastic. They kind of actually almost match the rain tray cover. Got some Darkside Devolopment piping I got, along with a PD150 intake that I polished out. Zealous Manufacturing hardware all throughout. I've got more I've got to put on it. It's just kind of a work in progress, obviously. I've got a Diesel Geek Sigma 5 short shifter, a Gen 1 that I'm going to be putting on it. Swoops brake reservoir that was just kind of a raw finish. I polished it out and then sanded the anodizing off of the cap and polished it as well. I'm kind of actually in development. I do 3D modeling and the part design myself, so I've got a valve cover drawn up. It's probably like 75% done before I'll have it 3D printed and tested on the car. I don't know when I'll have that out. That's not going to be cheap, especially a one-off. But I'll end up getting with the machinist that I work with and having him kind of quote it once I'm sure that the valve cover is going to fit after it's 3D printed. Another thing is I shaved and painted the core support. It's not very common, but I was a big fan of it when I did that. Bought a brand new latch, you know, just kind of clean things up a little bit. Gonna be doing some billet strut caps that will replace the rings, and I'll also replace this. I want to be able to mount the hood strut directly to the billet cap that'll cover the whole area and be polished. That's one thing that I really want to get done this year, just not sure exactly when. If I go on to the interior, Korwerks had these Audi S3 seats imported. As soon as I saw them posted, I knew that I needed to have them, but that kind of set off the interior. So the door cards right now are just black leather, but as you saw in my last video, I had some cloth ones that I stripped down, and the driver's one was questionable, so what I might end up doing is just pulling these leathers off, so that way Christian from StitchCraft in Winston-Salem will be able to unstitch these and actually have the patterns to be able to wrap these blue Alcantara. I've got all the brushed aluminum trim in here, just a Kenwood doubled in, the Seat Arosa HVAC and headlight knob. This is a BFI weighted knob, Blue Alcantara, and their shift boot. Highly recommend them. It's one of my favorite parts of the interior. Really good quality, feels really nice, and I feel like it actually helped have more solid shifting. One thing I don't have up is I have a pet barrier that is a Euro only option. Let's get this up. I actually have the mounts up in the ceiling. I have the other mounts that'll go on these lights to be able to put it up in front of the front seats, but retractable pet barrier. I always have it up at shows just because most people don't know that it retracts, but it's all right. Close that back down. I don't have anything done in the trunk, so I'm not gonna really worry about showing that just because it's nothing impressive. I have been working on getting the outside done. Fitment wheels are Auto Art VYs. I bought them from the guy who originally bought them in, I think, 2003 for his silver Mark IV wagon as well. They were the same spec in the rear, but they were an inch lip in the front instead of a 2-inch, so they were only 8.5 wide. Right now they are 18 by 10 and 18 by 9.5, and as you can tell, the fitment on them ends up working out perfectly with the about 5 degrees of camber I have in the rear, and then I have about 3 in the front. Haggis M3 style mirrors, one of my favorite spots on the car. This is what I plan to get filled before Helen, and I'm really hoping to find the panoramic roof to try to get in. If I don't, I'm just going to work on filling the plugs for now, or taking the plugs out and actually filling them. But that was just a temporary solution that I did actually a couple years ago to see if I liked doing it, but just really haven't had the time to do that and have the whole roof painted. But now that I've got the body kit and everything done, I should be able to put time into the roof and buttoning up the rest of everything on the outside. The lower valence, if you go back on my Instagram, I wasn't doing videos yet, but this has actually been lengthened. It's 2 sedan valences that I molded to lengthen it. I took 2 GLI exhaust cutouts and molded them together, so it's actually got plastic up in it and not just cut out around it. I wanted it to kind of be like an OEM style but custom, so it worked out well. Currently, as far as I know, I have the only character spoiler in the US for a wagon. I'm gonna try to find the 3-piece front pieces that are for the Golf and see if I can get them to mold and fit on the wagon, just because I think it'd look better with a continuation onto the body. That's just something that I want to do in the future. Not sure when I'll have that done. This is kind of a quick overview. I don't know what anybody else might want to see, but now you guys can kind of put together why I want to be able to have the cutout hood. You know, the underneath side of these hoods are not terribly ugly, but it'll look better with the hood closed. When you take pictures, you won't have a distraction from the rest of the car if I want to get a full shot picture, and I'll still be able to look into the engine bay as well at shows. Gonna mess around here and see if this mid-wing is anything close, just kind of for some laughs. A couple people wanted to see if it was close to going on a wagon, so we'll see. Not sure. Obviously the taillights are there. The hatch is a little bit wider than the spoiler itself, but if I lined up the bottom, it's not all around terrible. Let's see if I can. Universal attaching method. Good old Gorilla Tape. kind of up on the glass, but obviously it's not shaped the same as a Golf, so I didn't expect any different. I don't know that that necessarily looks good, but it kind of needs to be able to be leaned a little bit, so I'd have to widen up kind of there, because it needs to sit more like that. All right, that's a little bit closer, but obviously it's just kind of for a bit of a laugh and general knowledge for anyone that might try to fit it. I doubt that I try to, but so I don't know. You guys tell me what you think. Think it'd be worth doing? Just widen it a little bit, shape it, get it to fit a little bit better. The rear obviously would just end up sitting right by where the wiper plug was. I don't have that side sitting down all the way, but you can't really see because it's black. But from the side, doesn't look all around terrible with how big the character spoiler is. I don't know. It's kind of funny to see it on there, and surprisingly close for a Golf and not a Wagon. But I'm gonna see if I've got tools here to be able to test fit my hood real quick and to be able to do it myself. I've got a couple tools in the car, and since I'm not at the shop, I'm hoping that I have what I need. But we'll gather up some tools and see what I can make happen. So I found some tools I'll be able to use. Ended up just using a Torx bit for the Allens that I have, but it'll work just fine. It's not the easiest, but if we don't have any other help, you do what you gotta do. Not gonna really worry about bolting this on. I think that looks pretty good. So obviously you could have cut it back more, but then you get into that back bracing, which I didn't want to do. And now the core support is completely covered, yet you can still look in and see the whole shaved bay. The flanges will come straight down. They won't be at a 90 from that, as those are kind of sticking out. Flange will go down, so it'll look really good. And then this one will come straight down as well, so it kind of goes right down into the engine bay. But I'm excited for it, especially having it on here. I think it's gonna look great. You guys will have to let me know what you think.